She cut in line, loud, sharp heels, sharper tone, dragging a rolling suitcase behind her like it owed her something. People glanced up, then away. That kind of entitled energy, no one wanted to get in the splash zone. Claire Hayes wasn't trying to start trouble. She just hated waiting. Always had. Especially now, with her son Liam trailing behind like a lost shadow and their flight running an hour behind. She pointed at her phone, waved it at the agent, and declared, "We've got pre-check. I'm not standing behind that." That was a man. Old, quiet, standing like he'd been there forever, but not impatiently. His coat was folded over one arm, hat in hand, and clipped to his lapel, barely visible in the light, was a Marine Corps pin. Not new. Worn, tarnished from time and travel. He didn't respond, didn't flinch, just stood. Claire waved her hand in front of him. "Excuse me," she huffed. No answer. Not even a look. The man was probably in his late 60s. Hard to tell. He had that look. Not old, just finished. Liam tugged at his mom's sleeve. Is that him? His voice barely rose above the terminal buzz, but there was a tone in it. Wonder. Like he was looking at someone from a story, not just another passenger. Claire didn't look down. "What are you talking about?" "That's Sergeant Rowan." He said it like he was sure, not guessing, remembering. Claire froze. "Who?" she asked, confused. But the boy was already stepping forward. He didn't rush, didn't even speak loud. He just walked up, stood beside the man, and whispered something only the two of them could hear. And in that moment, everything shifted. Liam's eyes were bright. He tugged the edge of Mr. Rowan's jacket. A simple gesture, full of reverence. "Sergeant Rowan, sir?" His voice held no fear, only respect. Around them the line rippled. People paused mid-step. Trays clinked. A woman dropped her boarding pass. Claire watched with confusion, turning to shame. Her cheeks flushed. Liam spoke again, quietly but clearly. "You led the rescue in Kandahar, sir. You saved that patrol. 7 men, right?" Mr. Rowan's eyes flicked down at the boy, a flicker of surprise. Then a nod. "Yes, son." His voice was steady, gruff, but kind. The terminal felt smaller, closer, connected. A man 2 spots ahead, an off-duty pilot, leaned forward. "Wait, you're the one who landed the crippled bird in 2008? He held up his phone, tapping a grainy news photo. Rowan's face softened. He lifted a hand to adjust his cap. "That was a long time ago." Liam smiled, proud, as if he'd uncovered a secret. Claire swallowed. She whispered to her son, We'll move back in line." He shook his head. "No, Mom. He belongs at the front." A TSA agent approached, uniform crisp. "Sir, if you'll come with me." He saluted. "I need no special treatment." The agent paused, then returned the salute. "I insist, Sergeant." Across the aisle, the check-in manager nodded toward Rowan, stepping aside. The line parted like water. Claire stood rooted, her suitcase abandoned, her son's hand on her arm. Liam whispered to his mother, "Sometimes we all need a reminder." Claire's voice cracked. "You're right." The boy turned back to Rowan. "Thank you for always showing up." Mr. Rowan's eyes welled, not with tears of sadness, but with the weight of honor. And in that moment, the entire terminal held its breath. The man who was just another traveler became the reason everyone remembered to stand a little taller. Welcome to Legacy Forge. Before we continue this story, let us know in the comments. Where in the world are you watching from? And if these stories speak to you, hit that subscribe button to support the channel, because tomorrow we've got another special story waiting for you. For a few seconds, the airport terminal felt like church. Not silent, just still. No overhead calls, no gate announcements, just the subtle shifting of people realizing they were standing next to something. Someone they didn't understand. The TSA agent cleared her throat. She didn't salute. But her posture had already answered the question. A man in a security vest stepped forward, looked at Mr. Rowan, then at the people in line. He didn't have to say it. They parted. Claire stepped back, unsure whether to move forward or disappear. Liam, still planted beside her, tugged her sleeve. Why are they moving? He wasn't being sarcastic. He genuinely didn't know why this quiet old man was changing the shape of a crowd. Claire whispered, I guess they know who he is now. But truth was, they didn't. Not really, they just recognized something. A man near the back of the line pulled out his phone, searched the name. His face changed the second he found it. Rowan McCaffrey, Kandahar, IED blast. Carried 3 injured Marines from a burning Humvee, while on fire himself. Refused the spotlight, declined interviews, never claimed his medal. The article said he'd returned home quietly, worked in a hardware store, lived alone. The man holding the phone looked up at Rowan, then slowly lowered his eyes, like he was standing in front of something sacred. Claire caught a glimpse of the phone screen. She saw the picture, a younger version of the man in line. Face burned, but standing, carrying another man over his shoulder. She felt her stomach turn. That's who she'd told to move. She looked down at her son. He wasn't even watching the crowd. He was watching Rowan. He didn't even say anything, Liam whispered. He just stood there. Claire nodded slowly. Sometimes that's the loudest thing someone can do. And then the quiet man moved, just a step, toward the gate. The crowd let him pass like he was walking through water, and no one, not the agents, not the passengers, not even Claire, said a word. Claire stood still as the crowd began to shift around her. Rowan had stepped forward, his boarding pass now in hand, moving toward the gate as if nothing had happened, as if he hadn't just stopped time. She wanted to disappear. But that feeling, that quiet shame tightening in her chest, wasn't going anywhere. Liam tugged her hand. She didn't move. Not yet. Rowan was almost to the gate when Claire took a step forward. Then another. She caught up just as he was about to board. No audience now. Just him. Just her. Sir Dash Dash. He paused. Didn't turn all the way. Didn't flinch. Just waited. She swallowed. I didn't know who you were. There was a long pause. Not cold. Just full. He looked at her. Really looked at her. And for the first time he spoke. His voice was low. Even. Doesn't matter who I am. What matters is who we choose to be. Claire opened her mouth, then stopped. There were 1,000 things she wanted to say. Excuses, explanations, regret, but none of them felt worthy. So she just nodded. Thank you. Rowan nodded back. Not a smile. But something close. A gesture. Like the lifting of a burden no one else could see. Then he turned and boarded his flight. Claire stood there holding Liam's hand like it was the only thing keeping her grounded. He looked up at her. You okay, Mom? She took a breath. The kind that reset something. Yeah, she said softly. I think I am now. The gate doors closed behind him. No fanfare, no salute. Just the quiet click of a man who never needed applause. Rowan moved down the jet bridge with the same stillness he'd held in line. Each step deliberate, each breath steady. A flight attendant glanced up as he boarded. She greeted him warmly. Good afternoon, Mr. McCaffrey. Not scripted, genuine. He nodded once. Found his seat. Window, mid-cabin. No upgrades, no requests. Just him, a folded coat, and the silence he carried like an old friend. As the plane lifted off, Rowan looked out the window, not watching clouds, watching memory, flashback, Kandahar, heat, smoke, the sharp crack of a radio calling out a broken convoy. He was 20 years younger, helmet skewed, left arm already bleeding. He didn't wait for orders. He ran, through fire, through shrapnel. They said the blast should have killed everyone. It didn't. because Rowan crawled into a burning Humvee 3 times and came back out with a man each time. He couldn't hear by the end, could barely breathe, but he didn't stop moving. They tried to give him a medal. He never showed up to receive it. He said, "The ones who didn't come home earned it. I just kept my promise." Back on the plane, a young Marine sat a few rows behind him. He hadn't said anything, hadn't approached. But now he stood, walked up the aisle slowly, paused at Rowan's seat. "Sir, I just wanted to say thank you." Rowan looked up, met the young man's eyes, then reached out his hand, strong, steady, scarred. "You're the one who will carry it forward now." The Marine nodded, blinking back the kind of tears you don't talk about. At the gate, Claire and Liam watched the plane taxi down the runway. Neither spoke. But as it disappeared from view, Liam whispered, "I think he knew I remembered." Claire nodded. "I think that mattered more than anything." The terminal was almost empty now, flights boarded, announcements silenced. Only the soft hum of floor polishers and late-night echoes remained. Claire sat on a bench near the window, Liam beside her, neither in a rush. Outside, the sky had gone gold and violet. That strange in-between time where things look softer, even when they're not. Liam rested his head on her shoulder. She didn't speak. She just watched the sky and let the silence work on her. For once, she wasn't filling it. Across town, in a third-grade classroom, a laminated photo sat in a display labeled American Heroes. Burnt edges. A younger Rowan McCaffrey standing next to a soldier on crutches. Captioned, "Never asked for recognition, just kept his promise." That photo was why Liam knew. Not from TikTok, not from viral reels, from a teacher who still believed in memory. And a story told at the right time. 3 days later, Claire made a phone call. Not to Rowan. She didn't have his number. She called the school, asked for Ms. Delaney, said she wanted to donate something to the Veterans Memorial Fund, then paused. "And I was wondering if I could come in sometime to listen." There was a silence on the line, then the teacher's voice, "You're welcome anytime." In the end, it wasn't about shame. It was about sight. Claire had looked at a man and seen a delay. Her son had looked and seen a legacy. That gap between assumption and truth was the space where healing lived. Rowan never told his story. He didn't need to, because someone else did. And this time, the world listened. If this story moved you, share it. Someone you know needs to hear it. And if you've got a quiet hero in your life, drop their name in the comments. We remember legacies here, and we speak them out loud. This story is a dramatization, and not based on one individual. It was created to honor the spirit of those who serve and those who remember.